All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachahak Vadash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, a great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. And just want to start a quick little lesson here, just kind of going on to this government shutdown and a couple things that are taking place in regards to this shutdown. And that's that this system is getting ready to fail, y'all. And a lot of you Israelites who depend on Esau Edom, all right, and his system that he's established, you're getting ready to witness a failing, all right, as it talks about in Isaiah chapter 19 real quick. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14, it says, "The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." And this is what a lot of you Israelites here in America are witnessing, man. All right, that the things that the plans that you've had, as far as living off the government, just getting by is no longer gonna sustain you anymore, because a lot of you Israelites are lazy ass fucking bums. All right, a lot of y'all, especially the women, all right, the Israelite woman, you benefit from from these government programs, and a lot of y'all are getting ready to see that these things aren't even going to be working for you. All right, as the government continues to go through this little shutdown. All right, I have this article pulled up that goes into the SNAP benefits ending in November, which we're not too far away from. I think it's about another 2 weeks left, so give or take. All right, and as it talks about here in Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1, all right, it's gonna being dependent on this government, and you living or you being a lazy ass bum. You don't want, a lot of you Israelites don't want to work, especially you women. All right, the scriptures talk about she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And a lot of you Israelite women specifically, all right, and you men as well, because you have men that are in this feminine spirit, because they've been raised by these single mothers who've received these benefits. All right, because that's the way that Esau Edom has structured the government, is to have it to where it's you do away with the man from the household, and you'll be able to receive these benefits from the government. All right, and you've raised up children, specifically young men, in these households without their father, who a father is an instrumental part in the upbringing of children, man. One of the main things that a father brings to the children in the household is discipline. And this is why you see men walking around here in 2025 that are undisciplined, all right, and have no moral or no moral values, all right. They have no drive, all right, to do anything. They're lazy, all right, and they suck and live off the teat of women and the government. All right, you have men in the same spirit that these women have, and Esau ultimately was the one who put that spirit on our people. All right, but this is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And that's what you Israelites have done. All right, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American woman, all right, have not taken on the covering of the Lord, meaning putting on his ways, all right, putting on the garment of righteousness. But what they have done is covered themselves in the spirit of this world, okay, which is which is ultimately made them perverse, all right, made them dependent on this system. That's why I said that they may add sin to sin, because as you've put on the covering of this world, all right, as you've put on the spirit of this world to continue to receive the benefits that this world gives, all right, for being a part of it, is to be a degenerate, okay, as the scripture says, the degenerate branch. And that's what you Israelites, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 5, have become. You've become a degenerate plant, all right, according to the spirit that you've put on. And it's not Isaiah chapter 5. I believe it's Jeremiah chapter 5, or maybe chapter 3. Salakia. Was it Isaiah chapter 3 maybe? Let me just find it real quick. Let me just go back to this Jeremiah 5 real quick. Let me type this in. Wild grape. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 5, yep. This is Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, "Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill." Going on, speaking on the Israelites. "And he fenced it and gathereth out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes." And this is what you Israelites have become: a vineyard full of wild grapes. Okay, completely out of order, completely out of the norm that the Lord set us out to be. Okay, it says, "And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes? And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down." And you see, you Israelites have become trodden down by becoming the degenerates that you are, ultimately because of the spirit that you've put on. It says, "For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant, and he judged for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed placed alone in the midst of the earth." Okay, and it goes on, but the point being that they've become that wild grape. All right, you Israelites have, and because you've put on the spirit of this world, all right, the Lord has judged you, and now he's getting ready to remove these things that you've depend on, and it's going to fail you. So back in Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 2, it says that, "Walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." Okay, and this is what we're going to see here soon, Lord's will. This government shutdown lasts, and these benefits get, put on hold. All right, because there's going to be a whole lot of hooping and hollering out in these streets, specifically from you women, man. All right, so let me read a little bit of this article, and then we'll close out with that Isaiah chapter 32. It says, "Snap changes here. Here's who could lose benefits in November." It states, the first part of the article begins, "States are warning SNAP recipients that their eligibility for food assistance could change as a November deadline to comply with the One Big Beautiful Bill approaches. The mega bill, which passed into law over the summer, overhauls the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as the Food Stamp Program, which provides food assistance to more than 42 million. The changes are expected to squeeze some people out of the program, as federal spending on the program is cut by an estimated $186 billion over the next decade. New work requirements and fewer exceptions." It says a big change to the program, yada, yada, yada. More changes to come. Let me just get to the point here. Let me see. It kind of just goes into a couple other things here. right, this is let me go to this one. It says Trump's administration SNAP benefits slated to be cut off on November 1st. And this is just an article from Illinois, from the Illinois Department of Human Services. It says 1.9 million Illinoisans will lose food assistance on November 1st if the Trump administration and congressional Republicans do not reopen federal government. It says federal officials with the U.S. Department of Agriculture have informed all states that it will not fund November Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits if the federal government shutdown, now in its third week, continues. As a result, SNAP customers will not have access to any new food benefits starting on November 1st. So those food stamps aren't going to renew come this November. You're not going to see that balance go back up to where it normally is at the beginning of the month. All right. It says, unless the Trump administration and congressional Republicans reopen the government, SNAP is a 100% federally funded benefit, and the federal government withholding payments to the state would impact all 1.9 million recipients in Illinois. The state administers more than $350 million in SNAP benefits each month, funding that feeds family in every corner of the state. If SNAP funds are not delivered by the federal government, the state of Illinois does not have the budgetary ability to backfill these critical resources. You see, SNAP, a vital lifeline to nutritional and essential part of the state's social safety net, which, that is not, you don't receive any nutritional or essential vitamins and sustenance from these SNAP programs, man. You're given vouchers for certain products that you're able to buy, and those products that you buy are completely through, okay, straight up disgusting products that are just chemicals. Okay, it says of these SNAP services, 37% households have older adults, 45% SNAP households have children, 44% SNAP households have a person with a disability. The average monthly SNAP benefit is approximately $370. So that's, and just in Illinois. Now, you go to some of these other states that have bigger populations of Jakes, okay, and you see that is a higher percentage of these or higher average monthly SNAP benefit. Okay, it says if congressional Republicans and the Trump administration reopen the government and pass a budget bill that includes SNAP appropriations by November 1st, the state of Illinois expects there would be continuity and coverage. But as of right now, they're not. Okay, this is just in hopes. They're just hoping that it gets cut back on. And a lot of these homes are, again, fucking women, man. Isaiah 32 in verse 9, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And let's go into that word vintage here. All right, the grapes crop. All right, the word there is batazarium or batazar Salakia. Batazar Yar. All right, Batazar Yar Salakia. A little bit of a tongue twister there, but it says the grape crop. Okay, the vintage. All right, food. Let's go into the online etymology of the word vintage. All right. So I misspelled it there. All right, vintage, harvest of grapes, yield of wine from a vineyard. All right, so the crops, man, the benefits. Okay, that's starting to fail you, Israelites, man. Soon you may be out of that program, man. You might not be receiving these benefits, and you're gonna be in dire straits. Okay. It says the gathering shall not come. You're not going to be able to gather up those SNAP benefits at the beginning of the month if this shutdown continues, man. It says, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip ye and make ye bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, man. You see, so it's not going to be anything but sorrow that's going to be hitting the streets of you Israelites, man. The lives of you Israelites is getting ready to be ruined. You're going to go into straight up panic mode when those food stamps don't kick back in. A lot of y'all are going to start calling up Ray Ray and Day Day to come back and help you out. You're going to start calling them up talking about, I need more money for your kids. And a lot of these Israelite men that are fed up with the way you women have been moving and treating them and keeping their kids away from them and using the system to benefit off of the fact that you had children from from a man. A lot of these men aren't going to go along with what you want, man. They're going to leave your ass hanging. Okay? And again, this is going to cause more uproars, more violence, more protests, especially in the Israelite communities, man. But it said they shall lament for the teats. Y'all going to be online, and you've already seen it, man. These videos of these women coming out in tears, boogers coming all out their nose like this is the Blair Witch Project. Okay, straight up bitching and moaning about the same system that they've lived off of their entire lives, that they've put their whole trust into, instead of keeping the man of the children that they have around the house so that they can live together and share the financial burden. No, these women have left the man, kicked the man out the house, put the whole sole financial burden on themselves just to then become dependent on the government, and now the government's failing you. So what are y'all gonna do? A lot of these men ain't gonna come running back to you to help you. A lot of these men, the spirit has been put out there, with this whole red pill community to forsake you women, man, to let y'all suffer. And y'all getting ready to see the fruits of your rewards, man, the fruit of your labor, all the madness that you've done, all the madness that you've talked and the things that you've said to these men. Now all that's gonna fail you when the time comes for you to look for these men, because you're gonna want a man in this time that's getting ready to come. And the scriptures talk about that, man. Specifically, it's gonna come down to a point where it's gonna be these men, the men of the Lord, that's gonna be gathering up these women, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. Because the men of the Lord are gonna be the ones that are gonna get through these times that is getting ready to come. A lot of these men themselves that, they're receiving, help from the government as well, man. Okay. A small portion of them as well. But nonetheless, man, things are getting ready to come crashing down upon you Israelites' lives, man. This is that time of Jacob's trouble that we've been telling y'all about. And it ain't just going to be about violence. It's also going to be about you suffering. You losing out on the things that kept your life going, man. And one of those things so happens to be these benefits that you receive from the government: your free health care, your free phone, your Section 8 housing, all right, these food stamps, so on and so forth, man. So just prepare to suffer even more, man, because this has been a long time waiting, and it's only going to get worse. And Lord's will, they don't pass that new bill. Okay, because we tired of dealing with you niggas. We tired of dealing with this world. Those that believe on Yahweh Shem Shai, who the world literally calls God and Jesus Christ, man. Hey, we looking to get out of here, man, very soon. Things are ramping up all over the earth, and it's only a matter of time before this RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, is pushed out here, and we see it, man. With how these programs are all being shut down and they're not being funded anymore. These governments shutting down, the way that the currency is devaluing, that financial system that these devils have been pushing and instituting for a while now is getting ready to come to a implementation stage where it's going to be implemented for them to is going to be put out here as mandatory, as we've been seeing nations like the UK and Mexico speaking on digital mandates or mandatory digital IDs, man. Soon this whole thing of financial inclusion is going to be pushed out here, man. So hey, that's pretty much the point. Lord's Withers is edifying. I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. With that, I say Shalom.